Welcome to the fourth episode of the Breakout Founders, where we host entrepreneurs and founders who have just taken that extra step to start their own business and also get a chance to listen to their stories. Our guest today is G. Ramasubramaniam, who is affectionately known as Ramana. He is the founder and chief listening officer of Talent Quest for India, TQI, a volunteering movement with a vision to create socially responsible leaders. TQI focuses on the holistic development of children and youth. Ramana started TQI in 2010 when he was in his 11th grade. He has engaged 8,000 plus youth in volunteering and reached over 50,000 students through Talent Quest for India programs. So, over to you, Ramana. Tell us a bit more about yourself and TQI.
Sure. Thank you so much, Noel, for inviting for this. And TQI journey, as you see, it's a pretty long 10-year, over a decade journey. So, when you just told about this and read the story, reflecting back of how it started, is actually, brought us back a lot of memories of how it has all started and how it has been going in. And I think so this conversation will be more of a reflection for me also, to what we have been doing in. So Talent Quest for India basically started. A small story is there behind why we have started TQI. So I should maybe start off with that. So I'm basically from a very small town near Tuticorin in southern part of Tamil Nadu, now actually been affected by the flood, very sadly. So I'm from that part of a town. So when I was in eighth grade, when my history teacher and political science teacher was talking about Indian freedom struggle, talking about Mahatma Gandhi, Ambedkar, you get that the patriotism was infused in you. So it's like நாகார்ஜுனா படத்துல வந்து
Kandipa.
நரம்பு ஏற
Yeah.
மாதிரியே நாட்டுக்கு ஏதாவது பண்ணணும்டா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி that feel was infused by the teachers. Thanks to the teachers for instilling that kind of a patriotism in the classroom. So that was a time when we thought we got freedom with a lot of bloodshed, with a lot of people struggle, but there are a lot of problems in India, so we should take up the responsibilities. What that moment was realization for, not only for me but for the other classmates in my classroom when I was in eighth grade. So during that time itself, we friends together, do small activities, that we think that's very important for our school premises around and also to the people around. So like for example, for Diwali and Pongal, we have made a small collection drive in the classroom. During birthdays we collect it, and then collectively we go and spend time with the nearby orphanage. And then during lunch break or snacks break, our we friends go to the school premises around and check if there is any a dust are there thrown out in the canteens, and we go and pick it, put it in the dustbin. So that the responsibility, I would say, this was collectively infused in me by the teacher and by my friends. So during that time, if you see, we have been thinking like that, it's all because of the friends that I had around and the teacher that I had around. So that was pretty much the journey has started about taking up responsibility or being very socially responsible, I would say, and to do something back to the country. And during that time itself, we friends used to sit in a circle in the classroom, and each one will say what is their dream for their country. So that is an amount of conversation we used to have during that time itself. And thanks to my friends, I would always be thankful to my friends at different points of my life. So my first mail ID at that time in my town, no one has a computer, and one of my friend created my mail ID. Still I use this it as a memory. So it's all friends who have infused that confidence in you and want to do something for the country. So that was happening. I came to Chennai 11th and 12th for the so-called IIT coaching and stuff around. Got passionate and want to do part of IIT. The bigger dream, with that dream I came to Chennai. And when you are in Chennai, you are from a small town, obviously, you get that inferiority complex, where the people are really good English speaking. And there are other stuff, from a small town, that, and when I be there in Chennai in 11th and 12th, you stand up and talk about Gandhi and Ambedkar.
Correct.
It's totally a different feel, when in a city side and someone speaking about. So that was the thing which was happening. One major incident was during my 11th standard summer break which happened. So during summer break of my 11th standard, one of the company came and gave a project. I was in computer science group. So one of the my friend who is from the next class, he was very good at coding. We all participated as a team in the competition during that project tenure. He's not part of my team, he's part of another team. But during that project tenure, he used to call me, and then whenever he gets a code, he said, "Macha, I got the code. I'm so happy." Whenever he feels low, he calls and shares that. That was happening for over a period of month, and his team has won the project and they went to nationals. We were all happy. And during the 12th public exam, after the last exam, his mom was there and he was there to introduce me. He's saying, "Mom, this is Ram, who was and who will be responsible for my victory in life." So that was a bigger statement for me, as an introduction, because I was not part of his class, I was not part of his team, I didn't actually do anything bigger to him. But that is a bigger statement for an introduction, right? So that made me to think a lot what I actually did to him. So I understood that what I did to him was actually listening to him, non-judgmental listening to him. So that is the first point where I understood an importance of listening to the fellow people non-judgmentally. So after my 12th grade, my mom was working in a remote village in a government school as a teacher. So after my 12th, I just went to that school, entered that classroom, and then was asking each students, "What is your dream? What do you want to become?" And then asked the students to show their talent if they have. Someone is good at singing, someone is good at drawing. I just went and did that. When I was going out, many students came out running, "Ramanna, Ramanna, your autograph." So that were one of my inspirations. Quote, Abdul Kalam sir's quote.
Yeah,
When your signature become autograph, you achieved
correct.
something. There also, what I did was nothing. It was there, go there and listen to them, and then appreciate their talent. So I understood the more importance of listening, a non-judgment listening to the people, and the value of appreciation. So that's where I thought it's with non-judgmental listening and appreciation. These are the two core values with which started Talent Quest for India. So I came back to my house in Chennai and then actually started a
Okay.
Facebook group called Talent Quest for India. That's how the name came in, because I thought that there are a lot of talents in India. We need to listen to that, we need to appreciate that. So that's how Talent Quest for India has actually started as a it's a Facebook group during that point of time. And then again in Chennai, we friends got together, started doing many activities, in Chennai during the school time and in college days. So when I went to the college next, whomever I met in the college, the first question I would always ask anyone is, "What is your aim? What is your hobby?" So that's my full-time job in college when I when I went to the first year. So everyone started to share their dream, everyone started to share this. So I started connecting the
Hmm.
like interest people. So I kept a register of whenever they said someone is interested in football, someone is interested in robotics, I used to connect both of them and say that, "Hey, this person in mechanical department and this person in electrical is actually interested in robotics. You should both meet and then go to the competition which is happening nearby on robotics." So that's how as with my interest, with whatever I can do, I started doing and connecting, understanding the dream of the students. That's where, when I was listening very carefully, one of the set of students who came from a government school background, from a very small town again, told that, "Anna, we
Hmm.
have the fear of stage fear, and we have this fear of speaking English." And SRM being a very big college where people from different across India comes in, that was one of the thing that the students were, and I can actually relate to them, because I
Hmm.
was also came in from a small city way back in 11th grade. So that's where I thought, okay, we should do something about that. So then we friends in SRM got together, we created a small module called
Hmm.
Express, வெளிப்படுத்துதல், expressing themselves. So it's basically what we did. We created small gamified modules. So we can create and go actually to the hostel of these students and started conducting these sessions in the hostel itself. So like converting Rajinikanth punch dialogues into Tamil. So they just come, need to say punch dialogue in English first, and then come back first in Tamil first, and then come back and do in
Hmm.
English. So these small newspaper reading activities, in whatever sense that we have want to help them, we have prepared those models and started taking in. So that's the first official program, if you want to say that, as an express. It came in, and that time that students told us, "Anna, this was very useful for us. What Why, if it will be really good if we got this when we were a school student in government school, right?"
Hmm.
So, oh, that was a revelation for us. Then what we thought, okay, why can't we connect the local college students in each of the district to local school students, where they go as mentors, akkas and annas, listen to those students, appreciate their talents, conduct a lot of competition, and also take these kind of a programs for them to overcome the fear and instill a sense of confidence. So that's pretty long the
That's a
journey
great
story, if you want to say about here. Yeah.
start, actually, a vision that, this is where your vision was born, right? And it is a really great story that, that you've gradually broken down into smaller parts and so beautifully told us. So thank you so much for that, Una. And there were two things that majorly impacted me with what you said. So one was when your friend told his mom that you were the reason for his success. I got goosebumps all over my body when I heard that. So that was really inspiring. And the second one was when you went to your mom's school, right? And when you met those students, and when they said, when they asked you for your autograph, that was a really inspiring moment as well. So there will be there will definitely be a beginning for every story, right? And your story, the beginning starts from, your school and your friends, and how the relationship between your friends, and how each of you were able to influence the other into being socially responsible, right? So how did you know that you wanted to do this, and this is something that I'm going to take it to, throughout my lifetime? How did you know that uh, right from school days?
Yeah, so as I said, this influence of my teachers, my parents, and specifically my friends, it was very strong enough from the beginning. So one thing, it was very clear from my mind is, with patriotism, being instilled, that we need to keep giving back to the society, and we need to ensure this country is on the right track. So this country, we need to, because another important thing is we have got many things from our environment, right? It is if you are here, if Noel is here in this strata, if I am here in this strata, it is not only because of our hard work, it's there, but the influencing factor, both in terms of environment, both in terms of the people,
Mm,
right? It is actually many people are contributing for one person's growth, starting from your school days, your college days, and even then, a small tree outside your house, starting from that, and a small anna at long in your shop, in your road, right? So as we say, people
mm,
is it's a social structure, right? You are a social structure, you are part of a biggest cosmos. It is not like you are the one who is driving. I always say that whatever is happening, it's all an instrument. We are just an instrument with a, you know keep doing things. And when that thought is very getting stronger in me day by day, because I started to understand that in whatever place I am and whatever doing I am, there are a lot and lot of people who actually put their time and effort. So it's very important that when many of them an environment is giving me, it's actually,
mm.
it's my duty, rather than I would, it should not be boasting about saying that I have actually giving back. It's actually my responsibility and duty to keep giving back, right? So to do something for the people and for the environment. So that thought was very clear
Makes
from the
sense,
beginning, I
Ramana.
would say.
So that was a great story. Like you come across your journey, right? So it's been a decade now. So it must have been tough, right? There might be certain periods of life where where the going has been tough, right? So you were telling me about how you were inspired to conduct events in college, and how you found out that there was a knowledge gap between you and the people coming from the government schools, right? And you wanted to go and help these kids. So the first time you approached a school and asked, them, and pitched your idea to them, your vision to them, there must have been certain difficulties, right? Not everybody would be okay with, having somebody else come in and teach these kids, right? So what are those kind of challenges that you faced in this journey, Ramana?
That's a good question. Always you're talking about the rosy pictures, the stories, challenges and roadblocks. In our journey, also there are a lot of interesting challenges, and we always looked at as an opportunity for learning. Because one thing from the from the way I've made pretty clear, TQI, TQI should be a family first, and TQI should be a platform for people to make mistake, people to actually come and learn by experiment, not not always be a outcome or a particular
Mm,
product or particular thing as an outcome and always work, right? That the process, I would say, from the beginning, TQI, I was very process driven. I would say the process, they should enjoy the process of doing anything as such, because I felt youngsters will learn a lot through a process, right? Everyone, not only youngsters, everyone learn a process, right? So the process should be appreciated, the process should be enjoyed, the process should be spoken about, right? So we talk about the challenges, when as a college student, when I go as a new another college student, and I say that, we are running, at the time we are not even registered as a trust, and we are actually a set of people, a bunch of people who are passionate about it. So the team in other districts, I still remember, I one of the days in December and January, I had made around 500 calls to get forms, team formations in different places in district. I used to call my friend of friend and connect to that, to find that right interested person who actually wants to start a TQA chapter in a district. So it was all friend of friend that connect was happened. That 500 calls, 600 calls, we all sat together, to build this team across in districts. So that was again, it was a challenge, but it was an opportunity. It's a big learning for us. You know, even without any money or even without an established brand or something, with just a purely amount of passion that we started, and many people from
mm,
other districts, even we have not seen at all, right? They are miles far away, but they are all bought in for this idea, right? And then they started their own chapters. So TQY chapters in all districts have all started through the connection of friends of friends of friends. It has all been started from bottom up, right? And that's one of the reasons it's still organically growing. So it's not a top down approach, so it's always bottom up
mm,
approach, where friends come together in different churches and then doing that. And again, when I went to few of the colleges initially, when I was even the college student, right, to go and pitch it out, that's why the time I still remember, you know uh, as we are going and want to meet a principal about talking about this, and we should not look like a college student. I wore the blazer, I wore the coat, and then it was very loose. I still, when I get that picture, I still laugh at me, that was a coat. With that, I went, because I
correct.
should, they should not feel that it's a college student who is running it and then going in and tweaking it. But these are all the product of learning that comes in forward, and he was quick enough to understand, and he appreciated it. And at the school level, again, yes, at school level, when I went to first as a school, they always had that
Mm,
apprehension of what college students can actually do it. But when I took my first session, I still remember that HM was very supportive, and he actually was sat through the session and then said, so happy, Ram, you guys are coming and doing it. You guys are staying, because our always way of doing or taking a session is always through three means. Either we always do a first as an activity, through an activity, or through a story, or through a video. So we have been focusing on that, what the children like is, because we are also came from that age. So everyone loved it. And even still this negotiation skill, even when our teams right now go and talk to HM and even to their principal, what I see again is the process, right? When as a college student, if you could able to convince of
mm,
what we are doing to anyone, even a college management or a school management, right, that process is a huge learning process. The why of it, if you could able to convince the why of it and then can sell that idea, right, that is a process that making a lot of our
okay.
volunteers to enhance their skill. I see it that way. So at every point of time in TQI, a particular student is there in our journey. It's actually a learning process. It's actually a launch pad, right, where he learns by doing, by real time experiencing a lot of challenges that he can enforce. That has actually made him a better person. And that each and every volunteer of TQI is a testimony to that, including me, right? So where we put in across our heart and soul into it, and then we learn in the process, and every challenge is an opportunity that
That's
we take
great, Anna.
learnings
It's
away.
really
Yeah.
inspiring. ஒரு வாட்டி நீங்க சொல்லும்போது புல்லரிக்குது எனக்கு. பட் யா ஸோ லைக் நீங்க வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய விஷன் இருக்கு. யூ ஹேவ் அ லாட் ஆஃப் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி நவ். நவ் தட் யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டுட் யுவர் பர்பஸ் அண்ட் யூ ஆர் ஆல்சோ ஒர்க்கிங் யூ மென்ஷன் ரைட். ஸோ நீங்க திஸ் இஸ் நாட் லைக் சம்திங் தட் யூ ஆர் டூயிங் ஃபுல் டைம். ஸோ நீங்க யூ ஆர் ஒர்க்கிங் அண்ட் பார்ட் டைமா யூ ஆர் டூயிங் திஸ். ஸோ how did you convince your near India ones? இப்போ நம்ம வந்து if we don't if our near India ones don't approve of our idea, nobody else will, initially at least. So how did you convince your near India ones, your friends, your family, of your idea and your vision, and how did you onboard them onto your vision and journey?
True. That is always, initially when we do, my mom, as such, being a teacher, she understood, what I'm trying to do per se. But again, this question of, it's a time waste, or which is because I
Mm,
used to be in calls for a long time. And apart from my parents, if someone sees, I've been seeing it, they have been commenting on that, being in calls. It always, there's always, there is a perception, no, like whenever a
yeah,
college student is on a phone, either he's
true,
talking
true.
with a
Yeah.
girlfriend or doing chit chatting. But yeah, so there were a lot of gossips, I would say, was going around me, in my family. It's getting time waste, or what is he doing? And but all these things keep coming in. But it took a lot of time for my in and around family network also to understood what I'm actually doing in. But I always think that, if someone comes and asks,
Mm,
I'll sit and make them explain what I'm doing. So always that communication is very important, right? So until unless, it is not like, if they understood really what, real good, there are people who came back and supported me. So it is all about how you communicate what you are doing, and you can bring them along in your journey, because it is all for the welfare of the community and for the environment that we're doing in. So initially, there are a lot of gossips around. There are a lot of people thought that, and even see, there was not money involved here, right? So people couldn't believe without money something is happening. Even still, that is a big challenge for us when we go and pitch in. The first thing is, oh, you don't take money. Oh, there is no something like this. Oh, you are running this without having a budget or a money. How is that
mm,
possible? That even a question in many places right now. So, I always think that, for us, money has not been a problem at all in first sense, right? See, what we are
mm,
actually want to give back is our time, right? It's our skill first. Money has been automatically coming from till now. Not even one point of time I actually look back to say, oh, I was waiting for some money, because it's automatically keep coming, because through our friend circle, through our well wisher, it is all you reach out, and reach out and communicate what the help you need, and people are amazing. Yeah, I always see people are amazing all around. You just need to get that confidence and think that people are really good, and then go and talk to them and see you can bring them part of your journey. So that factor was a huge challenge, saying that, without money getting involved, you're doing this much. And that is something was every time, not only for me and to the different chapter leads or the district leads, to convince their parents, down south. Coming to
mm,
volunteering
correct.
itself out of the home was a bigger challenge for me. I would say I was privileged enough to have kind of at least a supporting system. But each of our volunteers' journey, if you try to document it, if you listen to them, they coming out and volunteering in itself is a huge challenge, is a huge learning thing for me, because they need to make them
Mm,
understand their parents what he or she wants to do, and then the college, and then the thing. So that in itself is actually a learning process. So everyone who's volunteering in our TQI has a story behind of why they come in and what they are doing and how they have
nice,
moved
that's
across the
great.
challenges and
I've
together.
always heard that people in TQI consider it as a family, and I can vouch for that now that I've listened to all of your stories. That's a really great thing to say, Ramna, because not many people will consider something else apart from their own family as a family, right? Unless and until you give the atmosphere of a family, and I believe that. You make it a point to have that culture and atmosphere at TQA, right? So, having said that, you must have evolved, right? Like the Ramana that we see now isn't the Ramana that was 5 or 10 years ago. So you must have evolved through this journey as TQI evolved, right? So how did you evolve as a person? You know, side by side, evolving, TQI as well as a trust.
Oh, that's a brilliant question. So you say everyone's growth grow along, in TQI and help each other. And to answer to your that previous one of family, right? That is something. From the beginning we have been very clear. As I said, it is like growing together along, and no. it's everyone's heart and time, and that is only we are actually spending in. And from the beginning we are ensuring that, because in most of the districts our meetings
Mm.
happen at the volunteers home, where the parents are also get, they get involved and they serve us coffee, snacks and tea. So see, that's what I always say, even TQI is not an organization, it's a movement, right? When it's a movement, right, it is all people is across to be involved and then bring in a sense of volunteerism, right? So we want to keep it that way, and TQI always keep mentioning as a family. Why? Because within our volunteering ecosystem, each and every volunteer is helping each other's growth also, right, personally and professionally, right? So we want to bring together that culture, bringing that people together, support each other, help each other, and also to their near and dear ones around, to the environment. So being responsible, creating socially responsible, then being responsible is actually being
Mm.
sensitive, being empathetic to the people all around, right? So that is actually running a family. The world is a
Correct.
one whole family actually, if you see, right? If everyone is there, the one
Mm.
whole family, everyone is actually, it is not like me and someone else is different, it is all one. So we just, trying to help each other and what we're doing. So in that way, from the beginning we are very clear that, we want to take this route of doing that, and it's all a good family. At the end of the day, everyone wants to smile, everyone wants to happy, and
Mm.
each
Correct.
one is there for each other, right? So that amount of that thing we want to give each and every one, with a lot of other negatives happening in the world. It's very important where we have a community of people where, we are there for each and everyone to fall back, right? And to your question on what how Ramana as a person has evolved and what has been taught, it's humongous. Yeah, I would say these every experiences talking with volunteers or doing our programs, right? What I understood is, this phrase of freedom with responsibility, quote and unquote, right? Where we have seen in many places where youngsters are not believed in and given that freedom. I always say that you give freedom to the youth with responsibility and trust. So if that is given to them, you know, it makes wonders. See, for example, we are here managing a teams all across, Tamil Nadu and in Mysore, with which I am having that confidence. We are having that confidence in each and every one. And we are giving that freedom to design their programs, right? That freedom with responsibility need to be given in, right? I have seen many instances in many places where it is all kind of very choking, right? Where it has all been instruction
Mm.
mode, things are happening, right? So that actually freedom to do something is actually will come up with a lot of ideas, and you make them to do it. It's okay if they fail it, right? To make them to do it. So freedom with responsibility and with trust is actually a huge learning for us, as an individual also, where and the second, I would say, the
Mm.
main is about delegation of work. you know that is a skill, that's an art, right? The delegation of work. People keep asking how you manage time, how you do multiple things, this is happening. No, I didn't feel at all that I'm doing, two works. It's because everyone actually does their own. They take the
Mm.
responsibility. It's not like I give responsibility, right? So the culture in TQI is where people take. That's also one of our core values, very clearly voluntarily take responsibility.
Mm.
If you want to do something, you take it. It's not someone wants to give you something, right? So if everyone's take up that ownership, right, and then start doing it, then it's all becomes an amazing culture to take it forward. And delegation of work, and then as a teamwork, if you start delegating, it's all team come together and then make magic for you. So the delegation, the art of delegation, I would say I've learned a lot. And then the third is the art of time management. So when you learn the art of, first you learn the art of trusting people,
Mm.
be very clear on what you are doing to do, and then with the delegation art, then our time management automatically follows. So clearly, prioritize what you want to do it and take it up further. And my personal favorite, and in every TQN you
Mm.
can see that the power of listening. I can keep on talking about that, you know after and after, because once you start non-judgmental listening, you actually be empathetic, you actually learn a lot. By I read a lot of books, but more than the books,
Mm.
I actually learned a lot by listening to people. So that is an amazing skill that I'm still I'm trying to get that one of listening, and this will give you a lot of patience. So the art of being patient is it's also very important. That has
That's
evolved
nice,
in me over the
Ramana.
period of
So
time.
I think you've answered my next question as well. So I was about to ask how do you make sure that volunteers at TQI, ensure that they take up ownership of whatever they're doing, right? So that sort of answers the question as well. So there are a lot of people who want to help other people, right? So people want to help in this flood. So there are a lot of groups and WhatsApp groups and communities that put their foot forward and started helping a lot of people, right? So there might be one in 100 who wants to start a trust or an NGO saying I want to do this. I am someone who's passionate about helping people, listening to people and understanding what they are going through, right? So what would you advise people like people who want to start their own NGOs, or who are passionate about this journey and who want to put up a step forward?
Right, as you correctly mentioned, whenever there is a disaster, whenever there is a thing, even take for COVID, whenever there is a thing comes in, people automatically come together and then do it, and people actually help each other. That is some so sense of hope, in these bad times that keeps coming. And even this Chennai floods, we TQI in Chennai have been doing working with a lot of old age home. So a set of volunteers after the flood called each of the old age home, understand whether they're all safe. And then we understood their needs, we did a big fundraising, and then bought all the necessary groceries and everything, went and gave
Mm,
to the old age home, because many of the old age home got sink in the water, and there are a lot of things. So each one was doing their own part when a big disaster comes in. And as you said, if someone wants to really start off, start with
mm,
volunteering to any of the cause, which you are passionate about, right? So there are a lot of volunteering organization to each of the focus areas. See, I also started with volunteering, right? And TQI is still a volunteer. So we are all, a volunteer for our own, interested cause. So start with any volunteer that can do. Don't think what you do something is whether it will be really make a change or not. It's okay, even whatever time applicable in whichever place. There are a lot of opportunities right now. Go explore, start doing a volunteering opportunity, learn how a things works in. And if you want to start an NGO, there are a lot of funding is not at all a problem. You should not think about whether money should be there, it will automatically come. Right now, I would say across the world there are a lot of funding opportunities, there are a lot of people there to invest and talk about. And the thing of social entrepreneurship, which I go personally and take in a lot of colleges, it's like not only through an NGO you need to do, you can also start you know a for profit, and keeping the focus on the people first, and you can become a social entrepreneur, right? Rather than, so you can actually be a social entrepreneur. You want to solve a particular challenge which is prevailing in the community, and then there are a lot of fellowships, there are a lot of funding opportunities, there are a lot of mentoring opportunities. Rather than funding, I would say there are a lot of mentoring opportunities for you in India, where if you want to do a work for a particular cause, there is Ashoka fellowship. There is, if
mm.
you want teaching, the Teach for India fellowship. So there are a lot of things that opportunities are there, but I would say start with volunteering. Start small with volunteering with an organization nearby, and then understand the dynamics, understand where your interest lies, and then start exploring these kind of an
That's a
opportunity,
great
and
answer,
then take it up.
Ramana.
Yeah.
So, if somebody is following all the above that you said, right, and there are certain stages of their journey where they won't have that motivation or that drive to push forward, right? So you might have gone through the same as well. So what would you suggest, uh, a patchwork of sorts that could help these young people who want to start volunteering with an NGO?
Starting volunteering with an NGO, Google it. You get a number of opportunities. Volunteering in Chennai, volunteering whichever places are there. Now there are beautiful portals, for you to go and log in and pick your cause and then do it. So volunteering opportunities are just at your fingertips. That is something amazing. And on your thing was what, keep driving, that thing without losing back. See, to be frank, yes, we are all at the end of the day are humans, right? There are some really bad days, there are some really off moments for us, there are some really it's actually okay, right? It's actually to be okay what you feel and what is setting back for you. I also failed a lot of times, so it's actually to be okay. And this is not right. Again, there is another set of very consumeristic way of thinking, which is keeping us anxious, of doing something very faster. But everyone has their own time, to do something. Everyone has their own way of defining their success. So it is not like always 40 under 40 or 30 under 30 or 20 under 20. So it is everyone's own journey, that need to be said it out, written it out. So everyone who wants to take it up, you define your success. It's okay, there are some days are off, there are some days of it's no, you are not in a particular race in per se, with other people. It's all at the end of the day, we're helping and supporting each other. Given said than that, it's saying is easy, but practicing that and being a part of it, I know, there are a lot of things which is thrusting upon us. It's good to lean back, it's good. And volunteering in itself will boost you. From my and listening to being in this journey for many many years, I can vouch for it, right? So you volunteer, you go to a classroom and take a session, or you spend your time in an old age home, or you do something for your environmental cause, you do a plugging, or you do you plantation, take any cause. You go spend time with shelter homes for the dogs, or any cause that you are really good at it. Pick a cause, be there. And that volunteering as an experience, as a journey, as a process, will keep you sane, right? And will teach a lot for you. You will unearth or
Mm.
unbox many skills and talents which even you might have not think that, oh, okay, I had this but I don't know, right? And mapping your interest with the volunteering is also something you always say in TQA. See, for example, take Ashla. Ashla is really good at creative things, right? So she is super creative, yeah? And with the way she comes in, when she came into media team as a volunteer, the way she taught in with your skills, the whole thing, she has changed the whole way that we want to say about TQI, because her skill got matched, or interest got matched with what we are looking for. So if you have a iota of some interest, about drawing or anything,
Mm.
try to share that in a volunteering platform. In that way you actually excel in what you do, you're interested, and also gain from the people whom you're interacting in the
Yeah, yeah,
volunteering.
definitely.
Yeah,
So
I hope that
I
answers.
got a recollection from my memory. So once I was asked to go to an old age home. So this was for an internship program for one of my friends. So I was hesitant initially because I had college and I had to bunk college to go there. But at the end, I wanted to go there, and somehow I haven't been to an old age home yet. So I want to really go there and see, what these people say and listen to them, right? So it was nice. We went in, we started singing songs, and we started talking to those people, right? And that's when I realized, the stories that those people have. Some people have really tough and sad stories, and they broke down when they were sharing things like that. They just want people to be there for them, be it a day or be it an hour or be it half an hour, but they just want people to be there. They really like children, like us, young people like us, who are roaring in this world and who want to be successful in everything that they want. They just want us to sit beside them for at least 10 minutes and listen to them, and understand what they are going
Exactly.
through also, right? So I was really shaken when I went there, and when I listened to all of those people's stories, and I wanted to do something like that afterwards as well. And it's a really nice thing to say, matching your skills with your vision, right? That is something that we definitely have to do, because I had the skill of playing guitar, right? So, and I wanted to match it to my vision, where I wanted to speak to people and listen to them, as you said, right? I also love listening to people, and I felt that that moment I was at peace, and I was really happy listening to those people. So it kind of resonated to me, and thank you for rekindling that memory of me, Ramana. So you might have had a lot of people who have been inspirational for your journey, right? So, you had mentioned initially that there was this one friend who spoke about you to his mom, right? But you must have had a lot of inspirational people in your journey as well. So if you could just name a few people from your journey and how they have positively impacted your life and your journey with TQI, it would be great, Rama.
No, perfect. Starting off with the leaders, I would say is Gandhi and Abdul Kalam. From the way I've said, it all started in a history and political science classes, right? So, that way, my reading started with, reading Kalam sir and dreaming along with him, because he was the one who told us the youngsters to dream. So, you just see, some person who just say that, you dream it, you can do it. That was a bigger statement when during that time someone, so that gives
Hmm.
a sense of freedom. You see that, if you dream it, that is something, is like
Correct.
you give a wings and then you dream it, right? So reading him and listening to him initially during when he was the president, and when that India 2020, that book was still there. That was the first speech I gave. I overcome my stage fear, you know giving that speech, right? So that was Kalam would always, I would vouch for, because he was my childhood's inspiration. And there, and then Mahatma Gandhi, over the period of time reading about him. So there may be other, talks about him which coming under personal thing. That is something, people always,
Hmm.
have that
Correct.
gray area. No, everyone is a human at the end of the day, and he even spoke about that. That is something amazing. He's the one who always says for dissent, right? He was the one who promoted, the culture of dissent, and he, in his book My Experiments with Truth, was very candid enough to say, to things that openly comes up. So, and with the grit in that age, and then doing that Dandi March,
Hmm.
inspiring when there is no social media. He inspired a lot, people to come behind him and doing it. Those are the instances was a huge inspiration. My mom is, of course, and biggest inspiration, because my mom and dad, I would say, because a lot of freedom was given to me and that friend, and whatever I'm doing, a great support. Mom and dad has always been an inspiration and great support to me. And each and every volunteer in TQI, as I say, listening to them, see, there are a set of privileges that I come through. There are people who, with that thing, they are motivated to give back, right? And listening to them, doing this, many things, saying that, Anna, I should do this, there is something here, I should do this, I should voluntarily, we should do something about it. And they taking up the ownership. Every TQI volunteer story is an inspiration. That's why we are actually doing Voice of TQI series. We have put that in our website as a document. We want to document, our Voice of TQI, each volunteer story. So each volunteer in TQI in itself is a huge inspiration for me. And each of my friend, again, I would say, all at different places, they have inspired me at different levels, supported me at different level. It is through friendship that, me personally and TQI as a movement has been
That's an
thriving.
amazing answer,
Yeah.
Ramana, because without our parents' support and their encouragements, we won't be focused on our vision, right? And that's a brilliant answer as well, Ramana. Thank you for that. So we've approached the end of our discussion, Ramana. So do you have any book or podcast suggestions that young volunteers who are thriving and who want to do something for the country, it would be better for them if they read it.
Good one. So I have a plenty number of book suggestion, I would say, to start off with. Maybe to start off with, if someone is a very nascent level of reading and want to, to pick it up and then want to take it up, I would say Wings of Fire, of course, Abdul Kalam's, and My Experiments with Two. These two I usually suggest it, to read and reflect back and take it up and do. But there are other books also, which is actually, I would, suggest is, take for example the current one which I'm reading. It's Shades of Blue, by Harni Nagendra and Seema Mandoli. Harni Nagendra was my prof in my postgrad. So she beautifully, wrote about the water, the importance of water. So she has looked, the authors have looked water from different angle, from social angle, from from cultural angle. I would
Mm.
say it's all small small story snippets, beautifully intertwined with the history, and how water has been, for our water is something that we live in, and it's a need, and there has been a lot more to the water that we can look into it. So one which I'm currently reading is Shades of Blue. And the other interesting one which I was reading was very lengthy, but I was reading parallelly, was Chips of War. One, and I was reading about water, and another end I was reading about chips of war around the gadget, that
Correct,
each and
correct.
everywhere it is all our chip, right? So how the geopolitics, which is by Chris Miller. So how the geopolitics have changed over the period, because during that time it was only oil, and it came in, and now it is all that chip, which is actually creating a lot of geopolitical wars. Very interesting, to check around. And another one was Back to Bharat. Back to Bharat is a book by an investor who was part of IMB and SR Cell. He's an amazing person, Nagaraj Prakasham. So he has been mentoring a lot of entrepreneurs. So many entrepreneurs, many social entrepreneurs, especially, if you really want to know about entrepreneurship and what is happening, Back to Bharat by Nagaraj Prakasham. He has traveled length and breadth of India, and the stories, the different amazing inspiring entrepreneurs that he saw, from northeast to Tamil Nadu to different places of India. That was at one go, I was like, I couldn't able to keep that book down, because a lot of positive inspiring stories that he was recommending. So Nagaraj Prakasam, Back to
Mhm.
Bharat is an amazing book. I can
Okay.
keep on talking about
Thank you
books.
so much for your
Sorry.
suggestions, Ravana. So before we leave, it would be great if you could refer two more people who you think I should host on this show.
Yeah. I don't appreciate your initiative. It's good. This podcast is actually, I have not listened to much of a podcast, because then now I'm feeling that, oh my God, I'm not in the current trend. With podcast taking over things, I feel background is good. I see a lot of things doing a good bad podcast, and many millennials and Gen Z are actually listening to podcasts and stuff, and good to you are doing this and appreciate you. So I would say another person which can easily I can connect also is in this
Yeah,
space
yeah.
is,
Anything,
do you
anything.
want in this space?
Any
In
two
this
people
space,
from the
in
top of
the
your
way.
mind. Yeah.
Ha.
Okay.
Yeah. So one is Tuvakkam Krishna. Krishna is one of my friend. He also kind of started his, want to
Mm.
give back. He's more focused
Okay.
on environment. He's doing an amazing
Okay.
work. In Miyaki Forest, if
Oh.
you hear of that, he is creating that in Chennai, in many places.
Mm.
His organization called is Tuvakkam, the beginning. He has started, and he has actually, taken full time into that, and is doing an amazing work in the environmental side. So you should check out Tuakam, the way they are also doing and beautiful things on environment. And Tuakam Krishna is one person that you should
Sure,
immediately come
sure,
and
Ramana. Yeah.
talk to them. Yeah. And another person is, there is
Okay.
a organization called Team Everest. Team Everest, started by Karthi. I fondly call him Karthi Anna again. So they're also doing an amazing. He was a seasoned IT professional, volunteering. Started his journey as volunteering and started this his own NGO. He's doing an amazing work in volunteering, in supporting students, and a wide range of work that Karthi Anna is doing as part of Team Everest. And another volunteering organization is called VT Vivo,
Okay.
We the Volunteers. We have also partnered with them. Started by Suren and his friends. So he's also more like me. He has a job and he does it. This VTVO. So we are partnering. We both
Okay.
partner in Chennai for the old age home. So old age home, or we volunteers regularly visit on weekends and then do it. And we the volunteers have different focus areas, and they also promote volunteerism. So Suren is someone I can connect you to, an amazing person to
Awesome, awesome,
listen
Ramana.
and
That's
talk to.
really inspiring. Thank you for suggesting those people as well. And thank you for your time on this show, Ramana. It was really inspiring and it gave me a lot of goosebumps moments and rekindled a lot of my memories as well. So thank you for giving me, this opportunity to host you on this show. And I wish TQI and all your and all the volunteers that you inspire more people, and you reach more people, and more youths and children and teenagers are inspired, and they learn from you guys as well. So thank you so much for this time, Ramana, and I wish you good luck and all the best.
Great, great,
Sure,
Noel, and
sure,
you're also
sure.
part of our
Kandipa.
TQA family. So proud of it. So thank you so much. Keep doing. I wish that this Breakout Founders series need to go a long way, where your vision of interviewing a lot of people, by listening to this podcast, get inspired, and then at least take one, thing from it, and then do it. That is a great success of the series that you're doing. And keep rocking, keep playing your guitar, keep
Thank you.
bringing smiles to
Thank you so
people.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, see you.
great. Thank you.
Bye.
Doc. Thank you.